The challenge, I think, so many of us as business owners, and I put a lot of your clients, I'm sure, in this case, is that we become trapped in our business. And it's something that a guy named Jim Hinman found himself. So Jim, anybody know the name Jim Hinman? May have heard of him. He was a car mechanic, guy who owned a car mechanic shop, and he did everything in the car mechanic shop. So he would do transmission jobs, brake jobs. They even had a gas pump where they pump gas. And every time that he wanted to grow the business, it hit the ceiling beyond which he just couldn't grow it. Because people wanted him. Jim was the master mechanic. People wanted, if they had something rattling around their car, they wanted to talk to Jim. And so as soon as Jim wanted to take a vacation, there was nothing left for him to do. The business stalled while he went on vacation and came back. And kind of a little resonating with this, your comment earlier, sir, about being away. And Jim Hinman sat back and said, what part of this business, fixing cars, could I scale so that it's not dependent on me? And that's really if you want to distill sellability down to its core, it's how do you build a business that is not dependent on you personally? And Hinman said, well, he put up all of the things that he did, transmission jobs, brake jobs, pumping gas. And then he stumbled on oil changes. And he said, I can teach kids how to do an oil change. You don't have to have a master's mechanics degree and 10 years of apprenticeship to do oil changes. There's a formula, you can follow it. At the time, this is going back to the 70s, the scheme, your opportunity to get your oil changed was to take it to the dealership, or you'd leave it for half a day. And then you have to sit in the lounge and wait for your car to be ready, or leave and come back. It was a big hassle. And Hinman said, if all we do is oil changes and we retrofit the bays out to make them get in and out quickly, heck, we could probably get people in and out in less than half an hour. That'd be valuable to customers. And the best part about oil changes is it recurs, right? Every 3,000, 4,000 miles, you need to get an oil change. So Jim Hinman starts Jiffy Lube. Obviously scales it up to be one of the fastest growing automotive service companies in the United States. Ultimately was acquired by Pennzoil Motor Oil Company. But what he discovered, I think, in his business, and what I challenge you to think through with your clients, is something that meets what I call the trifecta of scale. It's 3 attributes of a product or service that it has to have in order to scale. It's got to be teachable to employees. Hinman knew that he couldn't teach employees to do a transmission overhaul. It's got to be teachable to employees. At the same time, it's got to be valuable to customers. You could argue that you could teach a 16-year-old how to pump gas, but gas is a commodity. Sell for half a penny less than the other guy down the street gets all the business. So it's got to be valuable to customers, something that they can't get from other folks easily or readily. And number 3, it's got to be repeatable. It's got to have a reoccurring element to it. You can't be in the business of making wedding rings or caskets or anything that you only hopefully ever need once. You got to have something that reoccurs. And that's the trifecta. That's what I would encourage you to think through with your clients, both about your own practice, but also with your clients' businesses, about finding something that meets the trifecta of scale.